me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
Our white whale, Sidney Crosby.
Shave his head! Shave his head! Shave his head!
Ryan Whitney, Paul Bissonette, R.A., Mike Grinelli, Spittin Chiclets.
Pink Pony Club.
You know you weren't winning when that's your song.
Chuck was singing that one post game, actually.
Pink Whitty Club.
No, I think Matthew Tkachuk owns the masters to that song now.
Yeah,
I think he purchased them post game, didn't he?
The Florida Panthers own everything about the Edmonton Oilers and the rest of the league. Welcome. This one stinks, guys. This one hurts. Welcome to episode 569 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast. The cup is over. It's back in the Panthers' hands, and Pink Whitney's flowing. So we got to shout out Pink Whitney. The Pink Whitney Club, that's not dead. The Pink Pony Club's dead, but the Pink Whitney Club lives. I think right now at Elbow, I've gotten a couple messages, videos sent to me of people crushing shots. Little nips, maybe they're bringing in. I don't know what's going on, but the Pink Whitney is in South Florida. It's not going anywhere. Hopefully everyone else enjoys it. Hopefully Oilers fans drown their sorrows in it. But thank you for picking out some Pink Whitney, and thank you guys for joining. The demise of myself, the city of Edmonton, the Oilers organization, the Florida Panthers are too good. They're too good of a hockey team. I don't know what else to say. This team, recency bias, they're one of the best teams I've ever seen. I don't know who – you had these motherfuckers, Biz. You had them. You had them. You could have possibly taken care of this for me.
Come on, Mitch.
We would take care of you. But listen, Keith, you need to speak. You said it would be a shit kicking. It truly. We'll get into the shit kicking. It was. I mean, I wasn't even close that series.
Can I speak before Jans?
Yeah. Sure.
I got to the TNT set, and we just about halfway through our pregame, and a little bit of luck on our side. Jans, I don't know if you knew this, but Jans had a box that was directly beside our TNT booth. So I got to enjoy game 6 and the closeout next to Keith Yandel. And I wanted to say it's listen, where I know, and I was gonna say it's not funny, but it kind of is, because when I had the preview with the cry face with my face, you thought it was funny. Now we got yours with the cry face that I can pull up here, or G can, that we posted. But I just want to say, Jans, before we hand it over to you to break down the Panthers, it was such an honor having you on board the whole year, and you've been such an unbelievable add to the mix. So to get to experience game 6 and that closeout with you, look, I can't even say something nice about my fucking buddy here without this guy being an asshole. Can you not be a sore loser? I wasn't a sore loser when the Leafs got fucking spanked.
I don't know if you heard my spaces last night. Not a sore loser.
There it is right there. I feel like that doesn't even look like AI. That looks real.
That is real. I sent him a picture last night in my living room. I had a jersey on too.
Well, I think your hair looks too natural for that to be you.
That was a different colored dye that he used.
You got Hank's barber now who's actually dyeing it properly.
I've never dyed my hair, you motherfucker.
But Jans, like, this team might win 4 in a row.
Yeah.
We're going past 3?
Yeah, we're going past.
Yeah. You got to skip through. The absolute masterclass. I thought this was the easiest series. I thought they just outclassed them in every aspect. And this is I'm not trying to pick on you.
You thought that was easier than Carolina? Fuck off, bro. We're doing a real hockey show here. You thought that was easier than Carolina, dude?
I actually thought Rod the Bod brought a little bit more intensity overall. Like,
okay, we're trolling. All right, we're gonna troll.
We're not trolling, bro. I don't know if you heard Knobloch drop the F-bomb. Like, I was, fuck. You guys need to fucking wake up in there.
Yo, it's domination. If you're gonna tell me it was easier than them beating the Canes, you guys are both on crack.
I think a little more physicality. Like they were hit more. It was a harder series. Obviously, playing McDavid is going to be harder, and Leon's going to be harder. But what Aaron Ekblad and Gustav Forsling did to those two, and when you have 2 Selke nominees with Barkey and Reinhardt, when you have a 1A and a 1B that give you an opportunity to be on the ice every shift against guys like McDavid and Leon, I don't know how they're so built like this. I don't know how they have all these guys. It's absolutely insane. Marchie was insane. 4 goals, first time ever in a clinching game for Rhino last night. Pasha called him Big Game Rhino a couple days ago. He showed up, put the team on his back, and said, "Boys, jump on the rhinoceros. Game's over. Just give it to me." But I honestly think that this series, if you asked any one of them, it was like, yeah, wasn't. I really don't think it was that hard from Whitney. I'm not trying to be an asshole, not trying to be a dickhead. I just really think, just from watching the games, that it was an easier game for them to be played. Guys were banged up, obviously, on both sides, but it's like Evander Kane, what is he doing? Like, you take 19 penalties. You're the biggest guy on that team, fastest guy. You have every tool. Hurt someone when you hit him. Do something offensively. But I really think that it was just one of those series that they walked into it. They knew that they were going to win it, and it was just a matter of how many games and how if they wanted to go back to Edmonton or not.
I don't want all right, how do I explain this? That wasn't even close. I mean, I agree. I'm not going to say it was the easiest series the Panthers had. I will admit openly it wasn't even close. Game 1, they're down 3-1. The Panthers hadn't blown a lead like that under Maurice in the playoffs. They somehow come back and win that one. Game 2 was actually probably the best overall game the Oilers played. They actually had the lead after the first period, 3-2, but Marchand, the legend. Game 3, waxed. Game 4, getting waxed. Second period was their best period in the play in maybe the playoffs for the Oilers. Game 5, waxed. Game 6, waxed. So let's not sit here and think that I even think this was a close series. It wasn't. But I don't want to forget the fact that the Oilers ran through the West. They definitely had a harder run to get there than the Panthers did, in my opinion. This is a great team. This is the second best team in the NHL. It just so happens that the Florida Panthers are that heads and shoulders above the rest of the league. Like, that's why I don't want, like, this is turning, Oilers, it's turning into like failure. And I understand, and Oilers haters, I totally get it. McDavid can't win, choke artist, blah, blah, blah. That's a great team. And if we can't sit here and address, and we'll get into it maybe, like, the Oilers have a goaltending problem. I mean, I've tried to kind of not admit that. I've tried to say they could do it with Skinner. They went to Game 7. They get back to the Cup final with him, even though both runs they had Pickard playing throughout. It's like they don't have a goalie. And you look at the lineups of Florida to Edmonton. You look up front. It's not even close. We got 2 that are better than anyone on your team. Barkov, maybe Reinhardt, I get it. Maybe not. But after that, I mean, look at the fucking lineups. And then you go to the D, and the D aren't even close. And then you go to the goaltender position. And I mean, this Bobrovsky, Hall of Famer, 2 Vezinas, 2 cups. Keep texting our group of friends at home. He might be skating this morning, too. Because we're just chatting on this group. Like, that this guy, he's not going anywhere. He's
all he did was thank God, and then he goes, "It's time to get back to work." It's like, hey, you're allowed to celebrate for a few days there, but Jesus Christ himself turned water into wine. Go have a few glasses, for crying out loud. Jesus Christ, buddy.
Couple stats here. The Panthers were plus 39 goal differential in the playoffs. Plus, what the fuck? What are we talking about here? The Panthers were, what's this one? Where is it? I think they had the most guys, 6 players with 20-plus points in the playoffs. The 85 Oilers did it. The 83 Islanders did it. And Luosterainen had 19 and Lundell had 18. That was in the middle of the game. That actually, they both might have ended up with 20. They might have had 7 or 8 guys. How were you supposed to beat that? Sound off in the comments. How are you supposed to beat Florida? Well, I don't see any team.
I mean, you touched on it. They won the goaltending battle. They won the defensive battle. They won the offensive battle. They out-hit them. They beat the shit out of them. And even afterward, especially out-chirped them, because I heard there were some nasty chirps flying around this series. Like, people ringside said some of the nastiest they'd ever heard. And going back when there was no mics, like, there was shit being said that could put you in prison. And then how about these post-game comments from Matthew Tkachuk? This guy, full-blown.
Still thinks he's in the Battle of Alberta.
He does. Adductor off the bone, by the way. injury he reported post game. Still ends up getting what,
And a
3 or
hernia.
4
I
goals
think
in
he
the
said
final.
hernia, too.
Quote from Matthew Tkachuk: "Heart meets talent. Our team was a team. When things were getting hard for them, they looked to one guy. But our team, we do it collectively. And that's why we're lifting the Stanley Cup right now, because we're a team and not a bunch of individuals."
I'd be pissed if I was Leon.
That
that's like,
that
you
is
know
cutthroat.
what that is? I think that is actually complimenting Leon and throwing a shot at Connor and
Buddy, how about
Whit.
it? Also, he had a quote talking about how talented and incredible of a player McDavid is. He'll get a cup wherever it is.
with the Leafs.
I honestly,
Yes. He's coming. This is the
I
greatest
can't
thing
even.
ever.
I mean, what am I supposed? I got to eat this. I got to own it.
Let's switch the focus quickly, Whit. Can we? The coolest thing about that celebration after they were handed the Stanley Cup was the fact that Sasha Barkov gave it to Nate Schmidt, and then the rest of the guys who had never won a Stanley Cup, the healthy scratches, like come on, this guy.
Okay, I loved it, Biz.
he's still doing his lap.
When the Black Ace goalie had it, I was like, all right, let's get this thing to Marshy and Reinhardt and stuff. Like I get the Jones and I get the Nosek and I get the Schmidt. There was a goalie that I think has just practiced for 3.5 months I'd never heard of. He's carrying it on the troll. I'm like, okay.
He's got work in the
I
morning.
just signed him for Chiclets Cup.
Now, I actually think the coolest thing, and maybe I'm completely just like my mind is broken from what I just witnessed, but Barkov gets it from Bettman, and usually they take the lap. He just went into the middle. Like, does that happen?
They're a team.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
they're a team.
I believe Vegas
It was
did
a soccer
that.
style.
Okay.
Soccer style.
Okay.
That's how they do it in like Europe soccer, don't they? They like, and then
Yeah.
everyone kind of comes up.
I feel like they just like before they even lifted the thing, they really emphasized and they knew this is about
It's been
team.
choreographed for 3 months. They knew they were winning the mug, dude. It's like they've literally been practicing at practice. I watched it.
Another thing too is Sam Bennett gets announced Conn Smythe. He goes over, he grabs it, gives it to the trainer down the hallway. Didn't even lift it over his fucking head. Didn't care.
That's
Wanted to
kind
get
of
right.
standard, I feel like that's kind of standard.
But
Like a lot of guys.
there was
when
like zero bit of emotion. I don't even think I saw a tooth in his mouth. He didn't care. He just wanted to see Lord Stanley with
All
the
he
group.
heard was ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
if you win the Conn Smythe, your UFA year, you're a real
Oh,
Has it
You're
ever
a real-
happened?
like a great question. G, comments, help us out. If there's any UFA to be ever won the Conn Smythe,
it doesn't matter because he's signing for 8 times 8 and he's staying there. And then Brad Marchessault is going to sign 3 years for probably 5.5. And then Ekblad's going to sign like a 3 times 3, like the biggest bargoon go. Jans, you're laughing. I'm hearing rumblings that he doesn't want to leave and he'll take a significant hometown discount. I would not be shocked.
3 million is I think 7 million is a significant discount.
No,
The guy just shut down McDavid, bro.
Okay, so let's make a bet.
Both of them. But honestly, if Forsling doesn't have Eki, they're not the same. If Eki doesn't have Forsling, they're not the same. They got to bring him back. He needs to be back. 7 million, whatever.
no, he doesn't. Then none of them need to go back. Like,
let's make a deal.
Do you guys want this to continue, Biz? Like, as at least you don't want Bennett Marchand back there.
You think I'm fucking around? I want them to win 2 Stanley Cups in the next 3 years. And then by the end of it, every single agent, other team, other organization is losing their mind about this state tax law, because that is why they're going to get Bennett for 8 times 8, where he could probably get over 10 in free agency. That's why Brad Marchand, who I don't know why Boston didn't just give him the fucking 7 million per with the way he played. So fuck the Bruins for doing that.
Agreed.
Because the Leafs are lifting the Stanley
Look at how
Cup
mad
at the top
Whit
of the
is.
fucking Boston Bruins.
One of the first thoughts in my spaces was like, fuck Boston.
There
Don
you go.
Sweeney, you trade. What are you doing? Like,
Don
first off,
Sweeney-
fuck Boston for being that bad to then like trade him, and then what did he want from Boston? What am I missing here? Even if you're like sort of rebuilding, like he's your captain, a legend. What did
He
they?
wanted
Why
to
did
be
they
there.
trade him? Why wouldn't you?
On top
They
of that, how
literally
about
wanted it.
Chicago's guy? They give away Hagel. Seth Jones led all fucking skaters in ice time lugged for the fucking Stanley Cup playoffs with 25 minutes, or I believe it was just over 25 minutes for the Stanley Cup final.
But that
The
was a
guy
little
that
different from
Chicago
Marchessault.
fans, the guy that Chicago fans were like, this guy's brutal. We
I
don't
know.
need him. We're gonna
I
be
know.
sick because we got Connor Bedard. 25 minutes in the Stanley Cup final, shutting down the other team's best lines, the best players on the planet. They should be relegated to the fucking American Hockey League too, along with the Bruins for that nonsense. So I know we're venting, but we're not taking away from this fucking wagon that the Florida Panthers have built. Because
Biz, who was it? Fuda that said never judge a defenseman on a bad team.
that's exactly what he
Jones
said.
stinks. He can't even skate
Yeah, we gotta
anymore.
trade
Buddy,
him.
he's playing with the ghost of Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook out there. He's fucking trying to do this thing alone on one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, let's trade him to Florida and eat what do they eat? Aren't they eating like 4
50.
million?
I think 50%.
No, I think they're eating
25%.
15 or 25% in that range.
Edmonton was eating.
They have him for
40%.
4 more years, 3 or 4 more years, Seth Jones. They have Forsling making 5.8.
I think he's making 6.2.
Same thing. Same thing.
They should buy him a house or something.
What is
Hey,
Barkov
They should have
make?
to
What
re-up
does
his
Barkov
golf
make?
cart.
Barkey makes like 9 or something. He should be
And,
making
and
9.5
Reinhardt
to 10.
and Reinhardt's 8.5.
8.6.
And
What are we
Bennett's gonna get
talking
8.
about? We're talking about Leon just got 14. McDavid's gonna get 17. Like, how are you supposed to beat this? How are you supposed to beat this?
You're
I'm
not.
not
You
going to do
guys
the
were
state
here
tax
last
thing.
week. Look at it out here. You know,
I'm
not doing
moving
this.
here.
I'm not
coming
doing
in.
the state tax thing. I'm not doing the state tax thing.
We're not going to go there.
because I want to be clear.
No.
I want to be very clear. That is one of the best hockey teams I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And when you hear the interviews after about, and people are like, well, they just won 2 in a row. Obviously, they're going to say they love each other. It's not lip service, dude. These new guys come in. It's a culture that they've created. Buy in or you ain't going to play. All they do is hang out off the ice. They work together. They hang out together. They are all involved in one goal of winning. I don't think any of them care about points. Like what
Led
player
by
on that
Barkey.
team are you like?
But they all
he's-
got 20.
and they all had 20 points in the playoffs. They got this Lucerinen fucking guy. They trade Tkachuk for him. He's walking into the zone up 1-0 under a minute, pulling up. McDavid's flying after him. I don't know why. And he just finds Tkachuk. He shoots on net, hits Skinner's glove, goes in 2-0. That was the game.
And you know who handed that shift off to him? Brad Marchand. That third line, they go get the momentum. He makes a drop play to Lundell. Lundell goes down, gets a scoring chance. They recover it. Brad Marchand, 40 seconds into his shift, he goes and changes for Tkachuk. So injured Tkachuk gets to come on fresh. Well, one leg. I was going to say legs, but one leg. And he just waddles down the offensive zone, and your boy McDavid gets sucked right in. And Lundell's parked in front of the net, shoot through the screen, 2-0. What? Whit, the starts for the Edmonton Oilers in every single game that series, Florida
Besides game one.
Panthers, except game 1, had multiple goals. Had
Multiple.
Multiple. And once again, though, just like the game prior, I feel like in the first 4 or 5 minutes, they were fine. They were dictating play. And then all of a sudden, maybe a tough exchange between Skinner and Ekholm.
Maybe.
They go, what's that?
Maybe.
Buddy.
What was Ekholm doing?
Dusting it off. Then he throws the ragu meat sauce, hits Bouchard's shin pad. You think Bouchard's going to maybe step in the defensive lane? No, he tries to give it a little backhander, a little soft play up the middle. Well, you got Reinhardt, one of the smartest players in the NHL, according to Paul Maurice. Well, what does he know? 2 Stanley Cups back-to-back, not a big deal. 2 mugs. And then he goes down, and then just like Marchand off the face-off, Ekholm again. Like, Ekholm looked like me out there playing defense this series.
Well, you were an all-star in the coast.
Ekholm threw it a legit rocket knee-high pass
That's
to
how I saw
Bouchard's. Look, what? Like, here, oh, fuck, the puck's rolling me. Here, you take my problem. Bouchard. I'm sorry. Like, people were all over Bouchard last night. I understand the giveaway before the second goal. Like, yeah, chip it in under a minute left. That first goal, I seriously do not blame Bouchard at all. I'm sorry. I don't see. He literally had a wrist shot at his knee pads.
If I could critique it a little bit, I would say that he's better off at least even, if not a little bit underneath his partner to give him a better passing lane. When you're going D to D, it helps, especially given that they have such a strong F1. You got to go laterally, like kind of like you pass in rugby. Listen, I'm not saying every time it's going to be perfect. I still think Ekholm had plenty of time to get that puck over. He gets it on his forehand. He brings it to his backhand, brings it back to his forehand. Well, by the time that happens, Verhaeghe's got to stick in lane. And what else is he going to do other than throw the ragu meat sauce? So Shitburger over to his partner. You're saying you can't blame Bouchard. I think when that happens, you just got to kind of try to punt it, but make sure you stay on the defensive side. He just has his ass to the wall and he tries a little soft backhand play to like punt it farther into the neutral zone. Like, I don't know if that's the play either. So you start the game, you get a bunch of opportunities. Bob looked a little bit shaky.
I know. He didn't know where those pucks were.
Couldn't find a little bit of nerves maybe in a closeout game. And of course they can't take advantage because all of a sudden they get the blunder from the back end. So I really felt like the back end let him down quite a bit this series in making some major bonehead mistakes.
And great shot by Reinhart. He's falling over like, I don't know, Skinner. Can you mix one in there?
I think tie the skates up a little tighter. That's just me.
Can you mix one in on the Tkachuk shot that I think hit what looked like to be the middle of his glove? And then at 2-0, as the Oilers have been hemmed in their own zone for a minute and a half, and a soft Carter Verhaeghe wrist shot going 30 miles an hour is headed towards the net. Maybe just catch it. No, I'm gonna direct it with my blocker. It was like he meant to be like, here you go, Barky. Boom.
Yeah, let's jump in the handshake line.
Just block this thing right to you flat. Barkov was like, oh, let me shoot up Reinhardt's skate for another one. Because this guy has like, I don't know what he had the game winner last year. He had 4 goals in the clincher this year. But once again, they have besides him, Barkov, Marchessault, Bennett, Tkachuk, Lundell, Luosterainen, Rodriguez. Like, who is going to beat these guys?
I like that song.
Who is going to beat this team?
Verhaeghe.
You guys mentioned Sam Bennett and what his next contract would look like. I've been just sent a video that Sam Bennett and his dad just started a 8 more years chant at the Elbow Room.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to sign it tonight.
8 more years.
He's blacked out. He doesn't know what he's saying right now.
8 more years. 8 more
He's like 8 more beers? All right.
Hey,
let me tell you, if that guy
Zito's going to slip him a little bit of.
He's like, here, sign. He's sleeping.
Yeah. He thinks he's signing autographs. He's signed.
That's how he gets guys to sign.
He's going to be in Big Caesar's wheelchair, fucking getting wheeled around, signing his fucking 8x7. I can't say that.
He signs his
Caesar's our guy, man. What do you mean?
Kid, you know Caesar's down there right now.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Reinhardt? Quick, sorry. The play that he made on his empty net goal, just to show like how dialed in this team is, he got the red line. Most guys he fought to get the red line. Most guys with 3 goals going, and
it was 7-0.
Yeah, it's like if you miss the net, it's fine. We'll win another face-up. But he dug in and got the red line. And if he iced it, he wouldn't have. If he did miss the net, it wouldn't have been an icing. Just an unbelievable. That's the little stuff you see in a team where you know that they're a team and they don't care about accolades and who's winning or who's scoring. It's just pure class.
All right, we have much more to get to. But before we bring on a man that's about to fly back to Europe, I got to do just a couple quick ads. First is Game Time, guys. We've been talking about Game Time, getting into the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Stanley Cup finals. Well, it's all over. But there's nothing like getting into a baseball game. The Red Sox are 6-1 in their last 7, even though they traded their best player. And lucky for me, I always use Game Time going to Fenway Park, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Times makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app go down closer it gets to game time. I got options galore when I'm looking to go to the Sox at Fenway Park. I go to Game Time. I use it. You can put the savings that you get back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jack. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Red Sox tickets right now at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code Chiclets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code CHICLETS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time! And sorry, one more here, boys. One more here, ladies and gentlemen. And that is DraftKings. The Stanley Cup playoffs may be over, but you could still bet with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers who bet $5 will score $300 in bonus bets if their wager hits. We got baseball. We got the NBA Finals still going on. Whatever you want to do with DraftKings, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Chiclets. That's promo code Chiclets to unlock $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. The crown is not mine. The crown is not Edmonton's. The crown is the Florida Panthers. Merles was at the game. He said men versus boys. Why don't we bring him in before his trek back to Sweden?
What is up, boys?
No way. Is he actually on the beach?
Up?
No. You see the water moving, Biz?
Ooh. Hey, Jens, happy to see you found your phone and could make it here today.
No, he got sick. He had to get an IV. He was out of commission for 2 days.
Buddy, I was grinding.
He pulled a Whitney, doesn't invite us into that nice box you guys were just talking about.
Well, I kicked you out, so it's even worse. At least you were invited at one point.
I was with the president of the team. I ain't bringing you in.
I'm like, Jens must be on. I was like, Jens is in the plane. He's probably on his way to Nantucket. Around the second period, I'm walking around the concourse. I see his two daughters heading to the dessert line. Like, wait, Jens is here. Guy's ignoring the three of us all night.
Hey, you think Merle's grabbed them an ice cream? No chance. He's like, you got your dad's card? I want one.
No.
So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the game. You talked about the teamwork of that whole team and the organization. It was on display with the WAGs even. The wives and girlfriends. We're hanging out in the cold zone before the game. And next thing you know, you see, well, first Brady Tkachuk comes in. But the 30 wives, 25, 30 wives, girlfriends come in. They line up 30 shots. And, yeah, a couple of them were pregnant, so they did the water shots. But they were a team. They're taking team pictures together. So right there, the celebration was on at the start of the game, and it continued all night.
Merles, can I ask you one favor? Can you maybe move that thing a little bit closer to your mouth so everybody – does that help, boys?
Is that better?
I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
The microphone smells the booze on his breath. It's like, get me away from this guy. Why didn't you chase the cup, Mer?
Because I last year we chased the cup till 5 a.m. and we found out they kept it in the locker room all night. So we decided to shut her down early. I was hoping to get to the elbow room to make it and see it, but it got there just as I had to leave for the airport. So that was a little disappointing. But the rest of the night was amazing. I ended up in the Panther Club at the end of the night. Brooks Koepka was in there. He had a bottle of Cayman. It was like the size of Granelli that he had passing around. It was insane.
He actually came up in the TNT booth and said hello. It's the first time I've ever met him. He's like, pleasure to meet you. I'm like, oh, honor's mine. He would be a guy. I asked him if he wants to do a sandbagger. He seemed pretty interested. So that would be a pretty good guess. And Whit, I know that you've met him before too, right?
Yes, I had. I had to apologize for all the shit talking I'd done on him, but we cleared the air. I consider us friends now. I don't have his phone number or anything. He did say go Peas. Ever since he said go Peas, they haven't lost. And I was like, what's this guy calling them the Peas for? Well, the Peas own everyone. And the Peas make me peed. P for paranoid. Because this fucking team, I don't know where they're going. This is just the beginning. I have a horrible feeling that this is not going to stop. Merle's question for you. Is McDavid going to win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, so pretty wild rumor I heard this morning.
Fuck off, Mer.
There's the ref, Chris Rooney's just waving to me here. What a night by those guys.
Get him on here.
Does he get a ring?
By those guys.
They didn't call a penalty. They could have called that trip on McDavid in the third. At least chuck us one power play to end this thing.
He's getting fitted for his ring in the lobby of Merle's hotel.
I think he must be listening. He's sprinting away now, trying not to get on here. Some other stuff, like these fans are like 3 years in a row with the cup. The guys are like, my wife, my family's suffering, my job is suffering. He goes, I can't be coming to these games every night all the way into mid-June. He goes, this is insane. So, but
What was the rumor you heard?
What did you hear?
Oh,
this
you want to
morning?
hear
the sick
you wanna hear-
rumor?
You think?
McDavid to a team that starts with the letter T,
Tampa. Wow.
and it was not Toronto, Biz.
Seriously?
So, that was a rumor I heard. I mean,
There's no state taxes in Tampa, Biz.
Okay,
Jeez.
I think this is time actually to play the
thought-
video that I sent you, Grinelli. Teeing up this video, I don't know if you can hear it great. The question is asked to him, like, you know, with this core here, like, what do you feel about moving forward? Gee, can we play that video? This is the first time I've been scared.
More kicks to this can here. Just the way that the core of the guys are going to want to.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure.
Yikes!
I mean, guys,
Yikes!
that wasn't exactly like Hyman last year. We'll be back. I know. He's like, yeah, I think so. Sure.
That's how he answered my hot tub question a few years back.
And granted, this guy just lost. Like, I want to say, not just him, Corey Perry, Leon, the entire staff. I feel so bad for the Oilers, and I'm not just saying this as a fan. Like, I've
Same.
been there. I've been there. I lost one. It's the worst. Like, the emotions. Like, the it's over. We didn't get it done. This run was kind of for nothing. Like, they just dealt with that twice, 2 years in a row to the same team in the same building. Like, that's like, I feel truly horrible for every member of the Edmonton Oilers, from player to staff, because that is just like, you work and you lose last year and you know, oh my God, this, how hard it was to get here, to actually get back there and then get drummed even worse. I mean, the Panthers got better and the Oilers got worse. So no wonder the series looked like that. And now you're sitting there thinking, Oilers fans, this is an enormous month for the franchise in Edmonton. Like, this is you got to find a goalie, you got to sign Bouchard, you got to sign McDavid, you got to figure out like a top scoring, top six winger. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions right now, and I understand the panic, because if McDavid isn't signed before the season, like, I almost think McDavid has to be like, I'm not signing, trade me now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Biz, Keith, what do you
I
think
think
he should say, listen, we got one more year if we can win it. If not, I think he should do what like NBA guys do, sign 1-year deals. Like, he's made enough money. He can make as much money as he wants. I would sign 1-year deals or 2-year deals with teams to try to win a cup. He needs to win a cup.
He's going to be LeBron.
He has next year on his deal.
Right.
Could you guys see maybe like a 3-4 year type thing? Like, maybe give Edmonton an opportunity, maybe like for 2-3 more years as an extension, to see if they could figure it out. And then at that point, I don't think Edmonton fans, even at this point, would hold it against them. Like, we just finished talking about it. Like, they don't technically have a starting goaltender. You would agree on that. Now you're going to be having Bouchard and Nurse basically making $20 million collectively, where now you can't address other issues that you have defensively. You have Draisaitl's $14 million kicking in. And the biggest gripe that I have, and I said this on the broadcast, Whit, is I was very complimentary. What's that?
I know what you're going to say. I heard
I was complimentary of the holes that they filled in. Like, Arvidsson, Skinner, Wallman, Klingberg, Perry, those guys that they had to fill in those holes worked enough to get them to the final. But I really think you're going to look back and how big of a missed opportunity it was bringing guys who were with you on the first experience of the run. The Fogels, the McLeods, the Holloways, the Brobergs, like, they had experienced the defeat. So not only was it so fucking dumb at the fact that probably 3 of those guys didn't return because it was so affordable. Arvidsson making $4 million, and he has next year at $4 million,
and a no move, and a no move,
a no move, and he was a healthy scratch in a few games in the Stanley Cup final. Skinner, listen, I thought he actually agreed. I agree with you. He played pretty solid in Game 4. Games 5 and Game 6, I don't think really anyone was much of a factor. But
Skinner was actually like the best player for the Oilers.
Okay, say that, but he ain't the answer. But that's $7 million right there, where Broberg and Holloway, they're signed. And people's biggest gripe was, well, you didn't know the future of Bouchard because you knew that he was on a contract year, and then now you got to pay him 10, where it's like, let him fucking roll the dice. And if he does have this year, fucking you got your up and coming defenseman making 4, who I would hope that is eventually overall better than Bouchard. And that's not taking anything away from him, but like, man, defensively, I don't think his game's well-rounded enough to win a Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. Like, yes, he can walk the line. Yes, he can play on that power play and get points, but he ain't the answer at 10 million.
I disagree. I disagree.
Here, I'll tell you this right now. Him at 10 million is going to be the exact same as you're talking about Nurse at 9.5. I don't care about
buddy.
I don't care about your points. You just had the guy having a fucking career year. He's playing regular season games with fucking Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah, he had incredible offensive numbers in the cup run, dude. They fucking breezed by the first 3 rounds, man. Like, they played against a Stanley Cup team, and like it was exposure. It was exposure. So
they played against one team that is so much better than everyone else. Biz, you can't. I understand when you see
think he's a $10 million defenseman.
When you see Forsling making 6.2 and you see Jones getting paid 7.5 by them, no. But in terms of the league, like, he is. I don't know. This is where you talk about Florida has this advantage. Bouchard, you cannot compare him to Darnell Nurse. Like,
I'm saying is that you're gonna
breakout passes.
I'm saying that you're going to look back in a few years and be like, we're paying these 2 D-men $20 million and we're never going to win with that situation. So that's what I'm saying is when they were basing their decisions of, the Broberg, the Holloway, the McLeods, the Fogels, and mind you, you talked about that team mentality. Like, McLeod was loved in that locker room. Holloway's a dog. Broberg, like, he was the best defenseman in the Stanley Cup Finals last year if you go watch that series again. So not only are you bringing back that like camaraderie and natural fit, you're trying to replace it with something new that those guys ain't even going to be around next year. Like you're telling me they're not going to try to move off of Arvidsson? He wasn't even playing in these fucking games, bro. They don't got Skinner anymore. Is Perry going to keep playing?
He's coming to Florida, guaranteed.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Good. That means they'll lose. And that's not even a chirp. Like, I feel so sick for that guy.
I know. Horrible.
5 of the last 6 at his age. And then this year, that is like,
why does he look like Ellen DeGeneres?
No, it is.
I think even Panthers fans see that and they're like, oh my God, I feel horrible.
And he showed
played
up,
unbelievable.
Man. Yeah, he was a dog, like never giving up, being in front of the net, taking abuse. What an animal.
Where's Kapanen coming back?
No, they have big issues, dude. They have big issues.
What are they going to do with Evander Kane? He's got 1 year left on his deal. They got to
get him off my team. Get him off my team. The ending of that, and I understand like hating Tkachuk, that goes back to the Battle of Alberta. But like, buddy, he actually was getting sent off the ice. I'm like, I wonder if he'll come back out to shake hands. And he didn't. Like, come on, dude. What are we talking about here?
So look, so of all those people I just named, like, okay, Corey Perry might come back, but you're more than likely going to have the same amount, if not more turnover, when not only could you have re-signed or brought back 3 of those 4 guys that I mentioned, but maybe all of them if this was handled appropriately. So now you got 2 years of getting that taste in your mouth, just like Florida did when they were banged up against the Vegas Golden Knights, but they brought back majority of their core. The Oilers are fucking fucked.
This one has to hurt way more than last year's. More. Do you think?
Oh, big time, big time.
Whit, do you think their window is? Do you think their window's still open a little bit, or it's closing hard?
I said last night, if McDavid signs there, say it's 4 years. Ideally, it's 8, but like say it's 4. I don't see a world where those 2 don't win a Stanley Cup because we've never seen 2 players like this not get a Stanley Cup. There are enormous issues, but I think their window's still open. If he doesn't resign, what the fuck are they then?
You know what's going to happen?
I would imagine then Leon goes trade me, and then it might all end.
You know what's going to happen if McDavid does sign? He's going to get $18.5 million, and between Bouchard, Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse, and Connor McDavid, ladies and gentlemen, your new core 4. Your new core 4, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Don't let him pass that
down.
puck to you, Whit. Do not let him pass that puck.
He's deranged, but like
They've
I have
made
to
it to
eat
the
it right.
finals.
Whoa,
They've
whoa,
made it
whoa,
to the
whoa,
finals 2
whoa.
years in a row.
Oh, quick math. Other than next year with McDavid only making 12.5, I believe, can we get the amount of money that 18 and a half, 14, 9.5, and 10 for Bouchard? Add that up and divide it what the cap will be a year from now.
That's like 53-ish. Yeah, dude, that's not good. I know. But
that sounds pretty core fucking 4-ish to me, folks. Can we get
buddy,
the chat
we've been
popping
to
on
2
that?
cup finals. You haven't even got out of the second round, bro. You
Hey,
trying to compare
hey,
this is fucking
hey.
crazy.
Hey, same amount of mugs, buddy. Same amount of mugs.
If that's honestly the fan bases that say that, it's just pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
You there?
I actually think it's pathetic to say same amount of mugs. Like, bro, that is the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. They lost to game 7 this year. They lost to an even better team in game 6. They weren't close this year, but you're talking about not getting out of the second round. And I'm not even disagreeing with you about the 4 and how much money they're going to be making. But if they have a goalie, McDavid and Leon are just so much different than the elite players on Toronto.
But where there's nowhere to get a starting goalie. Like, no team's giving them up, and then like they don't just grow on trees, right?
You think they'll sign Oldie?
Ooh, maybe, yeah.
Like, even okay, so Biz, like McDavid goes to Toronto in this fairyland world of yours. Like, what's he making? 18 there? What do you think you're gonna do with that? The
Yeah,
same
but
fucking
then
story, dude. We're talking about
just,
teams who win with guys making elite players making 6 to 10. Like I don't know. What are you dancing at?
I think he's listening to Pink Pony
Tell
Club.
me. So if he goes to Toronto and he's making 18, like, what are you going to do? It's going to be the same thing.
It's going to be fucking glorious.
I mean,
It's
all right,
gonna-
we're not having a serious conversation.
We
It's
are
the
having
same
a serious
argument.
conversation.
The whole argument is that if you're making 18 and another guy's making 14 and 2 defensemen are making 10 and one of them sucks, you're fucked.
I think that your decor with those 2 guys are making 20 million. And I believe our entire decor is making about that. So we're spreading out the money a lot smarter. I would say that Toronto with 20 million spent on their decor is a better decor than the Edmonton Oilers have. So that's my argument. And then now all of a sudden we got our strength down the middle in McDavid, and then Matthews is getting second line matchups. We got Marner.
How are we even talking about the Leafs right now?
Because I said that it's the new core 4.
He's going to Tampa. Merle's is just like, I heard he's going to a T team. I was in the Panther Club. Blah.
He's like the Thrashers.
Let's go back to pumping the Florida Panthers tires. I mean, who else didn't we tire pump? The 4th line.
I know.
I mean, Gadjevich, Nosek.
You can tell they love Gazovich, and I saw Nosek hugging Maurice, like just
They were
like
crying.
you can tell those guys mean something to each other, right? Like you said, Whit, earlier, like they truly, like everyone says it, your brotherhood, your family, like it really seems that way. Especially like Gazovich in the locker room with his hairy back, giving out I think he gave the player of the game to the backup goalie after game 5. Like little shit like that goes a long way in a locker room.
I'll tell you what I took away from seeing the celebration is that look on Brady Tkachuk's face. Sorry, Ottawa. Hey, I'll bring down every other team with me right now. He ain't staying around there much longer. You could tell he was looking at him. He's like, he just won another one. Like, I'm fucking out of it. I'm out of Ottawa. Sorry, like, that's not the look I'm talking about either. It was a different look. He was just like, this motherfucker just got another one. He got another one. He's talking about, I'm going to win the gold medal next year. He's like, yeah, I right now am a little on tilt, no doubt, because I just stick to that. If McDavid stays, they're going to win. Are there a million question marks? Did they completely fuck up the offseason last year? Yes. Are there question marks? Yes. Where do you find a goalie? I don't know. I just never seen 2 players like that, if they stick together, not win one. And they've gotten pretty damn close. They've got, like, that's the thing. When people say, like, oh, McDavid's going to leave, like, part of him has to be like, well, where else is going to give me this good of a chance? I have a running mate. we've got to the finals last 2 years. We've been better than every other team besides Florida. So why would he think he can't do it in Edmonton? And if you want to troll Biz, go ahead. But
I'm not fucking.
The West is a gauntlet too to come out of. The West is a tough that's a tough division.
And they ran through those teams after the first 2 games. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go chase a cup, LeBron style. Well, where are you going? And what are you going to make? What are you going to make?
Yeah.
Because I see all these fucking teams with, oh my God, look at that guy's contract. What a contract. That's why they won the cup. Look at that guy's contract. Holy shit, he's only making that. That's why they won the cup. That'll never be the case if he's making 18. And I understand in Edmonton it'd be that, and Leon's making 14. So maybe they are fucked.
I think you came to your senses there.
He deserves the 18. That's
the Edmonton core foilers.
Hey, admit to me, you're just as fucked as I'm fucked. Say it. Because how are you not fucked if I'm fucked?
Because we have way better goaltending than you. We have a better D-core that's making reasonable money, and we have a shit ton of cap space where we can address our problems in the offseason.
Dollars was the backup for Florida, bro. It's
hey,
not
if
like
you don't get Bennett or Marchand, if you don't get Bennett, Marchand, or Nikolai Ehlers, and that's even a reach, you're fucked. You're losing 100-point score, dude. Like, you're fucked too. You're fucked too. Just like I'm fucked. Join the club.
I think
the only one who's not fucked is the rich guy going in Nantucket on a private jet in 2 hours.
I think, Biz, that people saw the way that Mitchie Marner was treated in Toronto. No one's signing there, bro.
I can't talk about Toronto.
Yeah,
can't do it.
We should move on. We should move on.
I can't do it.
I think it was a great discussion about who's in trouble and why, and the reason that there should be a state tax implication on the new CBA, because this team will just continue. My prediction now is that they're going to win 2 of the next 3 cups in Florida.
Yeah, if they come back there, if those guys go back, they'll win it again next year.
Do you think?
Mark
do you
my
think
words.
that? Do you think if they won 2 of the next 3 cups, and then all of a sudden we get Sam Bennett, let's even say it's an 8 times 7.75, okay? And then Marchand re-signs 3 years at, let's say, 5.5. And then Aaron Ekblad, and yeah, as I was going to say earlier, I'll make you a bet, okay? I'll bring you to Houston's restaurant, or you're going to bring me to Houston's. You're saying Aaron Ekblad is going to make $7 million. I'm going to set the number.
I think that'll be a discount. That'll be a discount if he signs.
I'm going to say he re-signs in Florida for closer to 4. So if it's 5.5, or less, I win the bet. If it's 5.5 or more, you win the bet because it's closer to your 7 number. Is that a deal?
Deal.
That's a Houston steak right there, folks. More goat coming down my gutlet. But I think that they're going to be able, if they do that 2 of the next 3 years, do you think that conversation grows and actually ends up getting changed? Like if we see a situation where we go on a 6-year run where like 3 of the 4 states,
well, 4 of the 5 past cup winners. I mean, Tampa, Florida, and then Colorado was in the middle, and Vegas. So 5 of the last 6 are no state tax.
So let's say we go on
losers,
another,
maybe.
What if we go on another, let's say 5-year run here, okay, of 3 of the 4 teams in the final 4 being no state tax, and the other one is McDavid and Draisaitl trying to drag their team fucking to the finals and actually be competitive for once. What do you think's happening?
See, the problem is there's the argument of like they are just beautiful weather, amazing places to play, and like any devil's advocate of this no state tax teams having a legit advantage, they have this point like it's Vegas, it's Florida, it's Dallas, like everyone wants
Buffalo
to live there.
was no state tax, people still wouldn't be signing there,
buddy.
Exactly.
Buddy, that in 5 years the cap is going to be close. Let's say it's 150 million because the way it's jumping now, I want to say it jumps 9 million after next year again. Now because of the revenue and how the league's thriving. When it gets to 150 million, you're going to have $15 extra million to play with. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse, guys. It's going to get worse and worse.
I saw Marty Walsh last night. He wants to come on the pod, and he'll be able to break all that down for you, Busy.
So I would imagine that he would be on the
saying that I'm a dummy.
No. I'm just saying he'd be able to talk about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
so
who
Paul
was it?
Maurice,
Bieksa
guys,
that said, "Oh, sorry."
No, you go ahead.
I think it was BX that said it to us. He was like, listen, like there were compensation when you play in Canada, you get paid in American dollars. So if you're making 10 million, it was really 14 or 12 million.
But you're not spending it all in
Canadian.
Canada.
So like,
you're renting.
there
a
are other
house.
compensation.
We can move on from this conversation, but it's going to become a problem because Florida's not going anywhere. Who else can we tire pump? I believe that it's the first time in any major sport that a coach has went 25 years of coaching without winning the championship and then doing it in back-to-back. So there you go. Paul Maurice, he leaves the Winnipeg Jets. He feels that maybe his words are falling on deaf ears and he can't get through to that core. And, it's not his team anymore. He just had that feeling inside. He goes down to South Florida and now puts back-to-back runs together, third straight trip to the Stanley Cup final. Potentially a Hall of Fame coach, maybe guaranteed Hall of Fame coach at this point.
Not potentially. He's done.
There you go. Hall of Fame coach.
I think is he second or third all-time wins? Top 5 for sure. He's got 2 cups. And then, like, you talk about Nate Schmidt getting the cup first, undrafted, over 700 games. Maurice had him in Winnipeg. You can't tell me that it wasn't like, hey, I know what this guy is. And his teammates love him, and he goes in. And Nate Schmidt looked like fucking Bobby Orr in that series for some of it. He had 5 or 6 points in the series. I mean,
the first series, he had like 3 goals, remember?
Kulikov's like running around like fucking Scott Stevens because you have the feeling on that team, I am invincible. Like, if anyone touches me, there are a pack of rabid dogs jumping over the top of them and defending me. It is a team. It is an unbeatable franchise right now with a Hall of Fame goaltender too. So, I mean, there's a stat here about Bob.
What's Bob, 36?
I believe.
Bobrovsky. He had his shutout broken late in the third period, obviously, but he's now the 5th goalie in NHL history with at least 2 Stanley Cups and 2 Vezina trophies and 400 career regular season wins. Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Terry Sawchuk, Jacques Plante. Jacques Plante, did he even have a mask?
No.
There was times Bob didn't need a mask this series, which, mind you, I was telling my brother-in-law watching last night with me, I'm like, you can't score on him low. Like, I don't know if you guys see, I don't think a goal went in on him low. And
Jonathan Quick. He's Jonathan Quick.
And then, like, they're still shooting low. It's like, buddy, you can't. That series was such domination. And what looked to be so close after 2-2 heading home. But deep in the hearts of Oilers fans, you probably knew, right? Like,
no.
I was like, holy shit. I said last night, it just felt so Team of Destiny-ish. And I'm talking like the way they looked in the regular season, everyone's injured, and then all of it starts gelling together, and then they get blown out in the first 2 games, and then boom, this run starts 12-2 in the next 14 games to win the West. You're like, and these are comeback wins. These are wins that they have no business getting. Jim Hiller reviewing the goal. Byfield not getting the puck out. It just kept going. And Pickard comes in, wins 6 in a row. Skinner comes back, looks great. I'm like, this is destiny. Then they win game 4. I'm like, they have no business being tied in this series, but somehow they are, and somehow they're going home. And that's the effort they gave in game 5 at home. That's the takeaway, that game 5. Now, is it more that your effort is that pathetic and you guys played that bad? And the first period of game 5, I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? Or is it just that the Panthers are that good? They're too good.
Let me ask you a question.
How many guys from this run, which it obviously isn't over, get their jersey retired here?
Bob, Barkov, Tkachuk,
Forsling.
Buddy,
are you kidding me? He's their best defenseman.
I understand, but like Duncan Keith will have
like
his
the
jersey.
Brooks Orpik of
buddy,
he's not like
Bill
an offensive
Zito.
super. Like Duncan Keith did what he did defensively and offensively, was a superstar Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah.
Forsling is just an incredible shutdown defenseman. I don't think he's a jersey retired guy.
Bill Zito cried like his wife had just given birth to their first child when they signed Forsling to that deal. I guarantee you by the time Forsling's done his career with the Florida Panthers, he is going to the rafters. I'm going to say it right now. I have all the respect in the world for Jacob Slavin. He has been dethroned as the league's best defensive defenseman. That will go to Gustav Forsling. I'm not fucking around, bro. He shut down fucking McDavid in back-to-back Stanley Cup finals in his prime, scoring one fucking goal. One. Todd Colzing had 2 goals this playoffs in the Stanley Cup finals.
Great,
Okay?
great.
So
snipe
Gustav
yesterday.
Forsling is going to the rafters.
I thought they were coming back when he buried that one last night. Said, you never know. You never know here. Todd Colzing actually showed some heart, some fight in that game. Let me quickly just talk about
I also want to mention Sam Bennett doing what he did with Tkachuk being banged up on his line for basically the entire run, just even solidifies that Conn Smythe even more. And I know that people, the anti-10 million people out there online, all the fucking spreadsheet folks there, he's only had 150-point season in the regular season. Who gives a flying fuck? Because when the game is worth something and you're fighting for a mug, who are you fucking taking? That guy at 10 million or the rest of the fucking free agents involved? Who are you picking? Who's your dog?
At 10 million, I'm not paying him 10 million. I've argued with you over the I think I would do anything to have him on my team. I'm not paying him 10 million because on a team where he's making 10 million, he does not have those 5 or 6 other guys where he is then able to just kind of sit back and not get the matchups and end up scoring 15 goals. Like he has Barkov, Reinhardt, Verhaeghe, Marchessault. Like he's not a 10 million
buddy.
But I will say, Whit, he has earned the right to be talked about to get that 10 million.
Yes.
Boys, in fucking 2 or 3 years, 10 million is what is an elite second line center is going to cost you. Who do you want going to fucking war with? Nikolai fucking Ehlers is going to get fucking paid $9 million in free agency because he's a fucking water bug out there. Sam Bennett just scored more goals in this playoff run than Nikolai has in his entire playoff fucking career. But hey,
he had more goals this playoff run than Matthews
send me your fucking spreadsheets. Send me, you only had 50 points the regular season. I don't give a flying fuck. Half their team didn't even fucking finish the regular season. They were just resting them. They didn't even care about winning their fucking division. All they cared about was the first fucking game of playoffs. They didn't care whether it was at home. They didn't care whether it was on the road. They didn't give a fuck. And then they tied or beat the NHL record for most road wins in a Stanley Cup run with 10. And who scored the most fucking goals going into the other fucking team's barn? 13 by Sam the Menace Bennett, baby. 10 million all day. You guys hear me in the chat? 10 fucking million, baby.
I need to talk right now about Body Armor. This episode is brought to you by the Body Armor Sports Drink. Keith, can you please show us the new impossibly cold flavors of the cooling sensation, the new refreshing frozen berry, frozen cherry, frozen orange? This summer, cool off with Body Armor Chill, a bold new way to hydrate with no artificial dyes, no artificial flavors or sweeteners, none of that bullshit. Frozen berry, frozen cherry, frozen orange, available for a limited time. This summer's favorite drink. Grab yours at a 7-Eleven or a store near you. Body Armor. Connor McDavid is a Body Armor athlete. So is Matthew Tkachuk. We got Arm Dog here. We got Arm Dog here. Arm Dog, just to tee you up quickly, we can talk about Bill Zito. I mean, if anyone out there tells you that your team can only build through the draft, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Look at what he did. He went and got Bennett through a trade. He got Tkachuk through a trade. He got Reinhardt through a trade. He got Marchessault through a trade. He got Jones through a trade. The list goes on and on. They signed Bob. He wasn't there yet.
Verhaeghe waivers.
Verhaeghe,
him. That was before.
Forsling waivers.
Forsling waivers.
Dude, he traded a first-round pick and Devin Levi and got Sam Reinhart.
Nate Schmidt, go down the line.
32nd overall and a goalie, like a unestablished goalie.
Yeah, and they are attractive place to be, attractive team to want to be on. It makes it a little easier when you got Tkachuk wanting to go there out of the gates when he, was in Calgary and kind of forced that to happen. And what a move. What a move.
If people forget he wanted to go there.
Wanted Florida.
I know. Was that I meant to ask you that. Was that all him like I want to sign in Florida, so get that done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? This is my career. I'm picking where I'm going. I'm not waiting until UFA, which is, I think, unbelievable to be able to do that, to have the balls to do it.
He has balls.
But it all comes down from his dad was the same way. Didn't he sit out 1 year with a contract?
He wants what he wants. He wanted what he wanted, and he was in a position, and he
I know, but what made
done.
him think that's where it's like, what made him be like Florida? Like, I guess
imagine
Florida's been the
initially-
sleeping giant. They've been a sleeping, like they haven't done anything. And it was just, I think everyone within the league knew at some point they're going to get it figured out and everyone's going to want to go there.
Did you guys see Zito grab the cup last night? Which I love.
Oh, he looked like demon eyes.
He was on the verge of crying, but also murdering like a human being. Like it was one of those like passionate, like crazed looks from Zito. It was, I love the way they let the guys handle the cup first that had never won it, which was great for TV. I didn't want to cut away. I didn't want the bullshit and wait until Marchand and Tkachuk and these guys got it later. So it made everything kind of stick with the whole celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Zito's ability, and this is what it comes back to. And I was listening to you guys talk about the core four and Edmonton's core and signing back and getting guys here. And yes, it's like, how do you get Marchand? How do you get Jones? How do you get these guys on these deals? And how does this happen? And identifying, and it's roster construction as well, in what kind of team and mentality and culture and playing style, and identifying players that can come and get. You think they're going to get Marchand if it's Willie Nylander? You think if Willie Nylander's in that spot that they're going to go, oh yeah, he's a good player. Does he fit? Look down their lineup of production this season and what production they have. Who led their team in points, and how many do you have? Like it's not impressive, but when the puck drops come playoffs and the playing style is what it is in a 7-game series, their idea of how to play the game and their guys, there he is, this fucking lunatic. Look at this man. This man just constructed his idea of what a team should look like. And yes, he's fortunate that it's a desirable place and he wants to get guys there, and guys want to go there now, obviously. But he constructed and identified players that can come in. I mean, look at the celebration.
Tkachuk changed it.
Well, you guys just said, why did Tkachuk choose there? Like they literally won the President's Trophy the year he decided to go there that offseason.
That's true.
Like they had the makings of that. And what they decided to do is Florida got rid of their Mitch Marner. And that's no disrespect to Huberdeau. He put up 115 points that year, but clearly Zito didn't think that he had the makeup of what a Tkachuk has. And that, I mean, you're buddies with him, Jans. Like Huberdeau's a very well-liked guy, unreal player, skill out the yin-yang. But as you just mentioned, Army, like, yeah, that 115-point season looks really nice on paper, but it's clear that he didn't think it was ideal that they were going to win a mug with that type of player. And swapping
Tampa
out
beat
him
them that year. Tampa beat them that year, and Zito's like, we are not tough enough. And what fucking player is out there when you're saying we ain't tough enough? Literally, like the two Tkachuk brothers come to mind. And Matthew Tkachuk didn't want to be in Calgary, and the rest is history, because now we're looking at, like he said last night, coming down here has changed my life. Like, well, you've changed the lives of all these fans and Viola and all these employees. Like he was the difference maker. And Barkov had been there, but Barkov, and this actually sounds bad, it's not. Barkov, like he just needed that bad guy to be with. Like Barkov is a machine. Barkov, who did I text last night? Who can you compare Barkov to? Nobody. Like Kopitar maybe, but he's better. He's now they won 2, and LA fans, shut up, Whit. But like, and recency bias, I get. But look, there's nobody like Barkov.
Every shift,
He needed the snarl. Did you see the shimmy shake Barkov made in the corner before the third goal?
Mhm.
I don't know who he walked. It was just like, I'm like, this guy.
He's so darty for a big guy. Like he has that quick, like pop up and it's gone.
You should see him do the ladder. Like when he does the ladder before a game, it's the most impressive thing because he could have been a professional tennis player. He had to like choose one or the other at some point. So his footwork is off the charts. And for a big guy, he's got big feet too. Like to be able to do what he does, he puts in the work to do it. It's not just God given. He works on it every single day.
Like I say,
also
sorry, go ahead.
Quickly, Army Goldie, who came on was that Monday? He told that story that he was talking to Zito, like, wow, like kind of swinging for the fences here, trade Huberdeau, bring Tkachuk in, and he just said to him, like, if you knew what I knew, like this is not swinging for the fence. Like he knew this
and
is
I would
the missing
imagine
piece.
I would imagine Sam Bennett had probably given him word on what they created, right? Because Sam Bennett was traded before him, correct?
Yeah.
Was he not there for a full year, or maybe even a little bit over a full year?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. So he was probably like, bro, like it was a nightmare for Sam Bennett playing in Calgary. And then obviously after that trade from Tkachuk going down there, he essentially dismantled both teams in Alberta. I mean, it just took a little bit longer for him to do the next.
Yeah. Bill Zito's a god. Bill Zito constructed a perfect playoff team. I think perfect timing for the style of hockey that's played now in the NHL. I compared it to like a throwback Broad Street Bully style for this modern day game of what they did. You know, you look at, you guys were talking about like who's the Florida Panthers core for? It's Bob, Barkey, Tkachuk, and what? Reinhardt
don't give them a core 4. They got a core 20.
But look at those
don't
guys.
Put that on them.
Look at those guys.
I would say
Ryan. Look at the way they play. Look at what
Reinhardt,
their guys are, and look at the positions that they're in as well, where they have a goalie, a marquee, unbelievable Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and they're all making fucking short dough.
Yeah, they don't get it.
I think any team. All right, Biz, you're right. The cap in 6 years is 145 million. Like, if you got 4 guys making 55 million, I think you're fucked. I think I don't, unless you have entry level players making an impact, which none of these teams have, right? There's like Chicago was winning cups, at least at the beginning, with like guys on entry level deals dominating like that. That's not happening with any of
those
the recent
guys. Also
winners.
turned into Hall of Famers. Like they're not just random guys. Like it's Kane.
If there is a GM. If there are any GMs that are listening to this show or scouts, and you're crazy if you are, or any scouts that go on to be GMs, if Bill Zito calls you and has a trade in line with you, hang up the phone, dude. You're getting fleeced. You're getting owned. Like, obviously, every trade he's made is working. Dude, Spencer Knight, like, nice prospect goalie. Like, you got Seth Jones for him. These are shit kicking trades. These are game 5 and 6.
Jones was done. Everyone's like Seth Jones is done.
No. The idiots in Chicago thought that. That's it. The idiots in Chicago.
The thing he has too. Maurice doesn't even have to coach the guys. He doesn't have to do maybe a couple tweaks here and there. He said it. The bench runs itself. Guys know their jobs. When you have a team that he has and the character guys he has too. And we can go back to Tkachuk and Barkey and what he is there and all their guys. And you bring in anybody that has a little bit of dog in them, you automatically are there. Look at Ekman Larson. Look at guys that have left last year. Look at guys that difference makers. Look at guys that like even like the biggest changing was Tkachuk. And it turned Barkov the year they lost. Can he be physical enough and that big body guy enough? And he stepped up in that and they lost. They lost to Vegas. And now he's different. And it's attitude, it's culture. It's the dog. It's the dog.
Bennett called Marchessault the biggest dog he's ever played with.
Yeah, he was losing it about
how much do you think of a ticket that Barkov handed over to Schmidt when he handed him the cup? What do you think he makes now? He went from making under $1 million.
800.
He's making 800. What do you think he's going to sign? A 3 times 3?
I imagine that Florida. Yeah, well, he'd probably be like, "Hey, whatever you want to give me, I'm sticking around here." I mean,
you don't think he's going to go get like an Oliver Ekman Larson deal?
Maybe Schmidt. How much money is Schmidt?
Army,
he could be a guy. When I say that Bennett, Marchessault, and Ekblad are crazy to leave for a couple more million a year, I'm standing by that. You're nuts if you leave there. I get Schmidt. I'm gonna look up his career earnings. I kind of get that one. In terms of like
Army,
all right.
it's like Witt said earlier, like those guys, like you said, that bringing in dogs like Ekman Larson and Schmidt. Those guys weren't dogs before they
turned
got here.
into it.
They turned like they come here and they turned into dogs.
Yes.
Nate Schmidt's made 40 million, guys. So he might just be like, yeah, give me 3 years times 2.5. Mikkola makes 2.5.
Yeah.
How many years does he have left?
Army, what do you think Ekblad takes to stay there?
What's Darnell? What's he making right now?
Darnell makes 9.25.
He makes six or 6.5, I believe.
9.95 for Darnell. He'll like. Why doesn't he just make the same? I think, let's be honest. He's been like well paid for a lot of bad years and been there from the start. And yes, it is what it is, and they were what they were. But now maybe on the flip side. And if he loves it there and he wants to be a lifetime cat, what does that cost? Maybe the same? Maybe taking a little haircut to fit everyone else in and go for another cup. Like
Ekblad's made
6 years, $4 million.
He's made 64, guys. Like, why would he leave?
No,
he doesn't. I don't think he wants to leave. In this team, they wouldn't have won these cups and been to 3 straight finals if they didn't have him. Like he's a stud on that back end.
It's a culture team too. It's a culture team. These guys love each other. These guys want to win. And I would not be surprised if all those guys that could potentially leave all get done to Witt's point and they win.
And if they do, the league should be every fan base in the chat, every fan base listening later on. You better hope and fucking pray that these guys leave because they're going to win again. They're going to win again. Bob he's not
37.
This guy's getting old. This guy, it doesn't. And like Biz said earlier, literally, they do not care where they finish. Get us in the 8th spot. Just get us in. We'll win again. They didn't have home ice in one series, guys.
Hey, we were talking about this at the games when we were down in Florida, and we were, I think it was over dinner and everything. One of our great Chiclets dinners. By the way, thanks, Keith. Great setups all the time down there. We were talking about Alex Lyon. And the Alex Lyon run and the year that they lost to get him in there, and they kind of turned into this Panther club and Keith Tkachuk calling them pussies and like all this stuff. But like Alex Lyon should have a statue outside that arena that just started everything. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
If Pittsburgh didn't lose to Chicago, would Florida not have made playoffs?
Buddy Robinson with a high tip slot goal to sink the Penguins down the stretch.
Hey, forget that. How about Marchand with the breakaway in Game 5 in Boston?
Yes, that too. Oh my God.
That
was everything.
Scores on him now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
that's
the destiny that he ends up going there, and he could have ended this before it even began. It's just
that's their Hiller no goal challenge right there too. That's like that moment for them because they.
And by the way, on that breakaway, he shot low on Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, Brad.
Can't do it.
Hey, unbelievable run, boys. I gotta say, what a year for the boys. Like what a year for hockey, from 4 nations to the playoffs that we had that were crazy, to Olympic top 6 rosters being named across the board the other day, awards being handed out, videos all over social, surprising guys at their lake houses. Just great performances and a playoff for the ages, and getting to do it all alongside you guys and the Merman and G and Fish and Pasha and holy shit, Memesy. It was what a year, boys. What a year. And I was complaining we went too long in June, but fucking A.
Well, we do.
That's a conversation we should have.
Well, Biz, I was going to bring that up. Florida was playing Tampa. Edmonton was playing LA. Montreal was playing Washington 5 years ago. I saw the highlights of the Sportsnet did an awesome 5-minute video of the playoffs. I was like,
guys look younger.
That was this playoff? Like, we got to do something. I think I'm on Biz's bandwagon of taking on the NFL. Let's just play on Sundays.
We're on fire, boys.
They need to do games on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and maybe one other night of the week. I would probably say Fridays would be the best other night, and load them up in September, October, November, December until obviously playoffs for football is over. I know it goes into January, but fuck, you got to go business as usual at some point. But the whole idea of like, oh, not competing with the NFL guys, like it's so stupid. You're wearing everybody from you're wearing everybody down, from the players to like even the people who work for the league. Like we had people who were working for our production team with TNT who were taking 3 fucking flights to get to Edmonton in the middle of June. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is
I know.
I
With
think
the
that,
Olympics next year, won't it go longer? Won't it be later?
yeah, it'll go a little bit longer. I'm adamant about starting the season the middle of September, if not right after is it called Labor Day in the United States?
Yeah.
Maybe
Start
that's called
September
that.
10th.
Memorial
Dude.
Day.
Start
Memorial
September 10th
Day,
to
right?
15th. Give out the cup at the latest June 3rd,
Yeah.
4th.
Yes. 100%.
Still have free agency July 1st. Still maybe you could have to draft a little earlier, but this is something where Bettman is so adamant, and maybe owners are on his side of not going earlier against the NFL and college football. Like every fan is like, guys, this is ridiculous. Every single fan.
I'm telling you how stupid the don't go against the NFL on Sundays argument is, because if you take the amount of viewership that these teams are getting, like in the early games of the season, you might have like 250,000 people watching an NHL game, maybe even less in most cases of these matchups. Like people are already on their couch watching sports. Half the NFL games suck and they're blowouts. They're already on their couch. You take the laziest day of the week that is designated to one sport, people will change the channel if it's a boring game. Even if they change a channel over for 10 minutes, it counts as a view. Try it. I'm not saying like you base your whole schedule around dropping games on Sundays. You do the Tuesdays, the Wednesdays, because those aren't when NFL plays. They have the Monday night football. They have the Thursday night football. Friday seems to be a big high school football day. So I think that's the other day that you could roll. And then Saturday's college football, Sundays NFL. Don't know how much you want to fuck with those, but man, there's a time to get it done. And I'm hearing that the NBA might start their season now after Christmas, like January, and then they would go to the end of summer. That they're thinking about doing that. So I don't think that enough people and casual fans care about hockey in the middle of June. I think it's a lot easier to sell at the end of May when people are still kind of not in summer mode and you're not fighting with patios and cottage country. That's just my opinion.
Roback, last question. Roback, last question. I'm going to ask you guys. We don't have a guest. Use code Chiclets on roback.com. Generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of the week. CHICLETS on RHOBACK.com. 20% off all polos, shorts, swim trunks, and more with code Chiclets. Army, Biz, where is Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett playing next year?
Oh, I can easily answer that. You want to go, Biz?
You start us off, Arm Dog.
Florida. You can't put a price on happiness. You got two guys that fit like a glove. I think Marchand as a all-time, he's a Bruin talk, but I think him going down there, his family, fucking South Florida, winning, the culture, it just fits him. He's had a great career. What those contracts will look like for him as an older guy, is it a 2-year deal? Is it a 3-year deal? And that's it. He just takes it. How's she going? That's my career. And I think Bennett, you can't, to what I said too, you can't put a price on happiness and where he fits. And his dad's up there in the balcony at the elbow chanting 8 more years. He's chanting 8 more years. I think they find a way to get a fair deal done where he can be happy and they can stay down there in Florida. I think they're both there.
I agree with Army. And I think that Marchand is going to be like, it's basically a double barrel to the fact that they wouldn't give him that number in Boston. He says, all right, I'm going to take my winning ways, my culture changing habits. I'm going to bring them down to South Florida. I'm going to stay there and I'm going to win some more mugs. And it's just going to go back to Bill Zito and exploiting these other GMs around the league that thought that they were ahead of the curve and smarter than everyone else by trading valuable assets that still have a lot of gas left in the tank for a first rounder.
Fit and timing. I mean,
how about the last
crazy.
2 playoffs? Florida Panthers have played Connor McDavid 13 games, Kucherov 10 games, Austin Matthews 7 games, Pasternak 6 games, Panarin 6 games.
Combined
McDavid
points.
4 goals, Kucherov 0, Matthews 1, Pasta 1, Panarin 1.
Yep.
You cannot. No one else shuts down superstars like this team.
That means you have to keep Ekblad. They need to keep Ekblad.
His size,
For
his
$4
length.
million.
All right, so if you could keep 2 of 3 of Marchessault, Bennett, and Ekblad, who are the 2 that you're keeping, Keith? Because I think
I don't
you
think it
actually
has
only
to-
can keep 2 of them.
Really?
Of those 3.
How much
That's
cap
why
space do they have?
That's why Ekblad's going to take $4 million.
I think 4 is too low. Like maybe
That's like
6.
half of what he makes almost.
Yeah.
But once again, he's made.
If I'm
63.
Zito, I come to him and I say, "Hey, you got paid very nicely through your entire career here. We weren't good. Now we're good. Now it's time for you. We'll do the deal, but we're getting the cap low. We're gonna do, what, a 8-year deal.
That's what they could do. Is
Yeah,
like
Boys, they're going to go, they're going to say, take this $4 million or we're going to go just sign the next Nate Schmidt. We're going to go get the next Mikula. We're going to go get somebody who's a way better player than what they're making because they're coming here to use our culture and our environment to uplift them. And then if you want to go get your bag after your next mug, go ahead, because we're just going to find the next guy to replace you. That's how it's going to go. And Ekblad ain't going anywhere. I bet you he doesn't sign for much more than $4 million. I bet you Brad Marchand signs for 5.5, and I bet you they get Sam Bennett for $8 million, maybe just a hair under. And it's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered. And I'm telling you, they're going to win.
There needs to be like a fucking a Congress. You know when Congress meets? Like, what are those called?
The summit.
State of the Union summit.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, like the Democrats and the Republicans come together. The Panthers just re-signed all of them, and none of them are making more than 8. Ekblad's only 29. Fuck.
I know.
That'd be hard for him to take an 8-year
6
deal
times
at
$4
$4 million a year.
Hey, Tree Living's
Hey,
going to be
he-
like that Cory Booker and talk for 48 hours straight. What do they call that? When that guy just puts on a clinic and he just
A
is like,
filibuster.
TED Talk.
TED Talk. Yeah, TED Talk.
and then he brags about it after how long he talked for. Yeah, like I don't know how. Like I think that's the culture. I think that's how they do it. I think Keith has said that no one's going to make more than Barkey. I think it's just going to, I think everyone's happy. I think lifestyle and team and fit matter. And I think you got guys in the right spots of their career, 27 to 30 years old. In the case of Marchand, older, where they got him in a great spot. And
Keith said apparently they don't even want anyone making more than Forsling on the back end.
Let me ask you this, Whit.
Jones does now, so that was prior. What if Ekblad signs like an 8x8 or a 7x8 somewhere else, then Zito trades back from, but that other team eats half?
I would be shocked.
This guy, Zito's a machine, man.
What do you
I
got?
would be
Biz?
shocked. They could probably fleece Chicago into doing that. With Massachusetts state taxes and that
Where
new
was that?
Massachusetts.
Never heard of it.
I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying. You said there's like a new tax. You said that there's like a new rich person's tax if you make over $1 million. So if you count the state tax, including that tax and federal state income tax, if you were making $7 million in Boston, what would your tax rate be? Would you say it would be at least 50%?
Yeah. Maybe
if not
just
more.
under.
Yeah. Okay.
Massachusetts, Biz. That's what they call it.
So essentially, if I think Marchand wanted $7 million in Boston, is what he was asking for, right? A 3
I think they were
times
offering him like $4 million a year or something.
I think they offered him what he was making, or a little less than what he was making, and I think he makes like just over 6. So I think that they offered him around the 6 million range, is what I heard. So I believe
you doing math.
Oh shit.
No, I'm saying I think that if he makes 5.5, if he signs a deal with Panthers at 5.5, he's essentially making 7 in Boston. So it's not really that much of a hometown discount.
Well, I imagine there might be a team that's like July 1st. Hey, Marshy, like here's like 8.5 for 3 years. After what he just did, Biz, you're crazy to not think of a team out there will do that.
I agree with you, but He's like good buddies with Crosby, trains with him in the summer. Like he's the same type of fabric. He like Brad Marchand cares way more about the fact that he's going to have 2 or 3 Stanley Cups by the time he retires. Now, and by the way, now there's no more debate of whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. Brad Marchand is a Hall of Famer. All 4 of us agree on that.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
So let's go through Florida. So Florida has Bob,
Mhm.
Barkov, Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk,
Mhm.
and maybe Reinhart. Like, honestly, the way Reinhart's going, you may laugh at me
100%.
right now. Dude, talk to me in 5 more years of fucking Sam Reinhart.
How many
He's gonna
50 goals?
He's going to score 200 goals in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
How many 50 goal scorers have been nominated for a Selke?
The year after.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
and the thing I would say too, boys, look at those guys too. They're not blowing your doors off with speed.
I know.
No.
Tkachuk went to the Pat Maroon skating school, like in St. Louis. They went to the same guy. Like they're not laser beams on the ice. They're good players. They're like culture style players.
They're D are their best skaters.
Yes.
Forsling
Big
and
lanky
Mikula,
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Verhaeghe can fly, but that's really it.
Hockey IQ, battle level, ability to play in traffic, like hard, tough skill. They all have it. Bennett, they can all
The Oilers
play
played
with guys
so
on their
outside
back.
in that series.
They
Whether
let
it's
them, like,
Florida
go
doesn't
to
let
the inside, they let
whether
them-
it's Florida doesn't let you to the inside, or just how many times did you see Leon and Connor just wheeling around the outside in the offensive zone? Florida's like, fine, fucking skate around there all shift. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable the way they
Yeah,
play.
where other teams get panicked with that, like when they
Boys.
see him, it turns into chaos. They
No,
kinda
they're just like,
hold it
dude,
down.
strong in the box here.
Yeah.
Net front, skate around all you want.
Boys, I'm out. Great job.
All
I
right.
want to give a shout out before I go. Game notes also on Friday. Tune in, be there. Me and Murdoch. Great talk about this season again. I want to give a shout out to Cruz. It's his birthday today. Happy
Let's
15th
go.
birthday to my boy. We got him home. My mom came into town. Pink Whitney all around. Look at the body
Happy
armor going
birthday,
for him.
Cruz. That's a good
All right,
mixture.
boys.
Pink Whitney. and
wait,
body
last
armor.
last
Yeah.
question,
The
Army.
athlete.
If you had to pick one moment this season outside of your
Oh.
kid being drafted to the Western Hockey League, which is obviously very personal, what was your favorite game notes moment? Maybe the NCAA tournament. That's always a fun time for you guys. But, and by the way, incredible run. I really felt like game notes brought it to the next level this
Yeah, we
season.
had
I
a good
really
year.
feel like,
Thank you.
yeah, you guys really stepped it up with your coverage, your insight, and obviously your fan engagement with the chat and everything. So from a overall podcast standpoint, we want to thank you, Pasha, Grinnell, and of
Berta,
course Murph
Big
for all
Berta
your guys'
for
work.
us. Berta running it for us too. Just unbelievable crew we have underneath you guys. And it was a great year. The thing that stands out for me, or the thing that was like really cool for us, is kind of in the late middle of the season. I think he just broke Chris Chelios' franchise record for most game point streak by a rookie defenseman. We had Lane Hudson on, who ended up winning the Calder Trophy this year as a guest, now friend of the show on Game Notes. He was like our first actual hockey player interview. We kind of have outside the box college stuff. We have those guys kind of on, but NHL guy was great to really get a stud like him on. Quiet guy, but was fun and good interview for us. And that was a great moment. But just being on boots on the ground too at Frozen 4 and getting to take that in again in St. Louis, unbelievable, and getting to see everybody there. So we have those great moments. And guys, the American League's still going. Abbott's
Florida's
first.
team's in it.
They're in it. Florida's
team's
team's in it. Charlotte lost last night 6-1. They're down 2 games to 1. That series is still going on right now.
Hey.
If you still have some hunger for hockey, the American League is there for
And
you. in the
they're
final
fucking
right now.
paying
Army, in
to
the
play.
chat, it says somebody said their favorite moment of Game Notes is when Merle's invented hockey.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's his idea,
Yeah.
boys.
He
It's his
invented,
idea.
he built the cup too.
Hey, all jokes aside, though, you guys come up with a lot of great stuff, and Merles is actually an idea guy. And
Yeah, he is.
He sends some stuff to the chat sometimes that obviously gets the ball rolling. So you got to give credit where it's due. And now that it's an inside joke with the pod, it makes it even better. So thank you to the hockey god Merles who invented it.
No, he
Thanks,
says
boys.
the
We
idea,
love it.
and then we don't do it, and then later on we do it. And he's like, "I fucking told you."
It's maybe my favorite bit in the world.
So they were back at the elbow room, what, at 8 a.m.? Did they stay in the locker room again, Keith?
They're right down the
Yeah.
street from
Yeah,
me.
they're-
I was gonna actually pop by. Like if we weren't doing this, I would have popped by and I would have went and shook their hands, man. That was such a ridiculous performance front to back, where I have so much respect for those guys, even though they bent my team over. No spit, no lube, sandpaper finish. Some of those, by the way, I think we had over 11,000 concurrents on our YouTube. We might even still have that watching live. I know we don't have any of the players on today. We want to let those guys go enjoy their moment, get shit-faced, spend time with friends and family, and really bring in the celebration. And we're going to be coming back to you guys at our regular scheduled programming on next Tuesday. And that'll be the last pod we have before our free agency pod. We're going to try to get Elliot Friedman on, who knows everything about that shit. So expect next Tuesday. Like, I would personally love to talk to Paul Maurice. I would love to get him on. Brad Marchand has always said that he would come on when he's done playing. I think this is maybe a special case in the fact that he put me in a fucking body bag halfway through the year when he was with the Boston Bruins.
Me too.
And he's really been abusing us all season long. So maybe we can call in a favor and he'll come on the pod earlier than expected. We know Tkachuk's going to come by because like he's a WWE rock star and the guy does it all. He's a quote machine. He'll fucking kill anyone. He'll chirp anyone. He'll score on anyone. And is there anyone else you guys think you would really want to talk to? Like, I feel like that he's going to say 5 words. He's going to be Hannibal Lecter on our screen. All he's going to do is give us the death stare and fucking.
Yeah.
Would you, Jens, you think we get Sasha Barkov on?
Yeah, you might say less than Benny, but yeah.
Maybe get them on together. So we get a full
just end up
sentence.
just doing the show. They just sit there and listen.
But that's
I can't thank everyone enough for watching.
Yeah.
It's the fact we get to do this for a living is, I'm so grateful for it. I know you guys feel the exact same. The best fans. This one stings. The only thing that would have been worse is if they somehow pulled that out and then we all went out to Edmonton and then they lost Game 7 at home. I guess if you're looking for positives, that didn't happen. But thank you to everyone. Thank you for the chirps, for the compliments. It doesn't matter because if you're tuning in, we thank you. We love you all. I don't know where we go from here. It's in the next month for the Edmonton Oilers could change the course of their entire franchise and what happens. And I'm nervous. I'm scared. But I also can't help but respect and be in awe of the Florida Panthers and what they've done, what they've built, and how they've done it. And I don't think they're going away anytime soon, which just disgusts me. So everyone out there, Biz, finish it off here.
I was just going to say from a different perspective, we do have Pasha, who is very good friends with Sam Reinhart. I'm sure he would end up coming back on the pod, but I would like to hear quickly what his experience was like going down the ice and getting to share that moment with him. What's up, Pasha?
When did you go to sleep? When did you go to sleep?
I went to sleep at 6. It was a 6 a.m. shutdown. Yeah, it was a long night. I mean, like, how much more can you say about this guy, Rhino? Like, this guy, it's unbelievable. Like, he got the first goal, and I'm like, okay, well, everyone knew that was coming. Big game player. He'll get 1. Got the second. I'm like, you know what? Still not that surprised. Gets the third. I'm like, okay, you can't make this shit up. This is incredible. Then when the fourth went, I literally was like, this is storybook, legendary shit. I kept saying it on the ice to him and his family after, like, this is going to be like a Jeopardy answer question, like 50 years down the road type thing. You know what I mean? Like, only the second guy to ever do that. The other guy was Rocket Richard 70 years ago. So I don't know if that's good company or not, but
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. It was incredible to see him do it again. And it was just like, his family there, Paul Reinhart, who Biz didn't even know played in the league. It was great to see him.
No. Okay. So listen, we did Biz Does BC. Sam Reinhart was kind enough to be the featured guest in episode 1. So we throw like what do you call it, Posh? Like a
watching party, like a premiere.
Yeah, like a premiere watch party, and Paul Reinhart comes. And I meet him for the first time. I'm like, oh, like, congratulations on your son's success. Like, oh, like, did you ever play hockey? And he's like, yeah, over 700 games.
You had more than me and you combined.
I'm not a hockey historian here, folks. So I apologize to the Reinhart family for the disrespect, but I think they've done enough damage now in the hockey community for us to acknowledge their greatness and what they've been able to accomplish, with also his brother being drafted in the first round, 4th overall to the New York Islanders.
Yeah. And then Max drafted to the Flames, 56th overall, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey,
crazy.
And once again, shout out Buffalo, Devin Levi in a first.
Tough one.
Tough one. And just seeing the picture last night of Eichel and Reinhardt and Ryan O'Reilly celebrating a goal in Buffalo, it's like, oh my God.
4 cups.
Pasha, on the ice into the locker room,
the year before.
then take us through. Was it locker room till 3-4 a.m. again, or?
Yeah, it was similar to last year, where it was just that everyone was staying in the room, with families came in, having a great time. The only wrinkle that didn't happen last year that came in this year, probably about 30 minutes in, you hear everyone going, shh, and Maurice comes in. And basically he was like, hey, we'll give you guys 10 more minutes, but in 10 minutes, everybody get the fuck out, all the floaters out. I just want only the players, and we're spending 15 minutes together, just the players. So he gave everybody the boot. He said, don't go far, but we need the time for the players. So they did their own thing for 15 minutes, and then they opened the doors back up, let people back in. But just the vibes were just immaculate in there. It was fucking awesome. And honestly, this might pain you, but you might have already seen the clips, but they come in, Tkachuk comes in, someone grabs a speaker, first thing out of Tkachuk's mouth, he goes, hey, put on Pink Pony Club.
Oh,
Oh
and they played that song. It was every third song that was played the whole Pink Pony Club. Like, it was unbelievable.
This guy's a true villain.
That kind of showed me that, like, we heard and we already said, like, how vicious the shit talk was and below the belt, like, crazy shit. That shows how much those teams hate each other, because usually you win, you beat them again. It's kind of like, I don't care. Like, that was more like just a final fuck you to Edmonton. I always had heard that winning the cup on the road was almost better because you had the time of just the team. And I think it has changed where teams are flying in so many family members when it happened. But before, that didn't happen. And so it's kind of cool. Maurice this year was like, hold on. And Henrik Lundqvist said it amazing on the broadcast. Biz, like, that makes you miss playing so much. Like, thinking of the 50, it was just 15 minutes, and they'll never have it again, because no matter what, there won't be a guy here and there. And that 15 minutes and, like, thinking of just the hugs and the admiration for each other, that's when you're like, fuck, what a sport. And I miss playing. Not that I ever got to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, the point he made is basically, like, it makes you, like, seeing what they were able to accomplish and how they did it just makes you miss so much being a part of a team in that type of atmosphere. And I mean, I was able to do it in the AHL, which is nowhere near, obviously. Stop, Jans. I'm saying is that, no, buddy, listen,
no, it's a championship. I hear you.
It's a championship, man. Afterward, you're just like, you know what you went through with those guys, and like, I barely contributed. So, like, just to be able to, like, be in that locker room and have fought with those guys for months on end to accomplish something, knowing what, like, type of pain guys are playing through and the sacrifice, and everybody, the whole family sacrifices. You guys know that, but just remarkable. Now that they've won 2 in a row. And are we allowed to go back to last year and tell that funny story between you and Aaron Ekblad now that time has passed?
No, we can't do that, but I will say the tradition continued this year.
No fucking way.
No way.
Yes.
Come on. You
buddy,
you have to tell the story. You have to. He won't get mad. It's all in good. It's all in good.
You did it now.
Again.
What was the why did you get to do it this time?
No.
Tell the story.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is.
So
tell the story.
Long story short, last year I'd met Ekblad at Sam's wedding 2 summers ago. So then I see him on the ice last year celebrating the cup. He skates by me, and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, man? And congrats!" And he just kind of gives me this dirty look, and he shakes his head, and he goes, "Trouba's my best friend." He goes, "I heard what you said." He goes, "Trouba's my best friend," and like pigeon tosses me. And I'm like, okay, like whatever.
What'd you say?
Oh, what did
I had a little rant about Trouba. Yeah, we won't get into that. But and then I would say like 3-4 times throughout the night, like in the room or whatever, he'd walk by and just like look at me and shake his head and be like, Trouba's my best friend, and keep walking. But like each time he'd soften up a bit and start smirking a bit towards the end as the night as he got more drunk or whatever. And then flash forward end of the night, 2-3 a.m. we're getting on a bus to go back to like where they all live, like a few of the different couples and whatnot. And we're walking out, and there's a cop there with a taser. And I don't remember how it came up, but basically he's like, oh, like, if you let that cop tase you right now, we'll let bygones be bygones and squash the beef. And I'm just like, what? Like, obviously I'm like apprehensive. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. I'm like, okay, if it's not that big of a deal, like, you do it with me and we'll do it. And he goes, fine. So just boom, both of us tased, beef squashed. Just had to do it.
I feel like they gave you a little bit more juice on the taser, though. He got the light one, you got the heavy dose.
You probably thought you were getting deported.
I can't believe you got tased
No,
again.
it was ice. It was ice.
I can't believe you got tased again.
And so last night I see him in the room. First thing I see him, he just kind of like gives me a look in the head, and I go, are we doing it again? And he goes, we fucking have to. We fucking have to.
They're going to win it again.
So same thing, parking lot, corner of the parking lot, load it up, zzz, boom, boom. The old double tase. It's tradition now. It's tradition. So.
I'll make a promise to Brad Marchand if he comes on. I'll let him tase me if we can get him for an exclusive interview on Tuesday to get the pod popping. But that's incredible, Posh. You had to tell that story. And with that being said, Jans, give him $7 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'll finish it off. Pasha, thank you.
Unreal.
We appreciate it. What a time for him. Pasha, as much shit as we give him, he's the fucking best. He's the best guy. Great friend. So obviously very, very happy for him and Reinhardt. I mean, what are you going to say? You got to sometimes tip your cap. That's been my line. And my final thing is, like I mentioned with the Oilers, like McDavid, he has to win a Stanley Cup. Like we're talking for if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup, like things are a lot different. Like money's not different, fame's not different, but in his heart, it'll be different. If he were to go on and leave the Edmonton Oilers, like being a former player, I wouldn't hate him. Like you have the right, you really do. It would crush me. It would crush Oilers fans. I would not be somebody who hates him. I would end up being pretty fucking disgusted though if he doesn't tell them, because he knows if he's going to leave probably in the next month or so, right? If he knows, he has to tell them like, hey, I'm out, and they have to trade him and try to get something. It's disgusting to say it. I've never really felt this way. This loss is just, maybe it's just the heartbreak of it all and like how fresh it is, but I've never felt like he was going to leave. And then seeing him last night, it's just like, fuck, maybe this guy is just like, I'm not going to be able to do it here, and I got to get a cup. So this next month is going to be a wild ride. It really is. But shout out
you
Florida.
still haven't won anything since the Pee Wee tournament.
Very true.
Damn. No, that's not true. He won the member guest last week.
I won the Boston Golf member guest last week.
Yeah.
That's cool. Name on the wall forever at a great club.
Before we sign off, I kind of just want to go back to the thank yous. Obviously, you, buddy, like you got 3 kids, man. You had to grind out this whole run, and you were obviously a good sport on today's podcast after being shoved in a locker like me. G, our producer, he's been with us since the beginning, guys, ever since he emailed RA, and it just so happened RA's mixer broke. Army and Merle's, the game notes boys, as you mentioned. Jans, like this is your first full season on board. I couldn't be happier with not only like what you've provided our pod, but just getting to hang out with my buddy again. Like you were the best teammate anyone could ever have asked for. And I said even at the beginning of the podcast, the fact that I got to share that last night with you and your family in the booth next to us. Fishy, who's been helping behind the scenes, from helping with producing game notes with the college hockey stuff, with Chiclets Nick, who we added pretty recently. Obviously we already mentioned Pasha.
Memesy,
like Memesy's a fucking content machine.
I think he's moving to Florida. Like, which I mean, has
staying,
anything ever made more sense? Forget Marchessault and Bennett staying there. Like, he needs to be there.
Well,
he's a Florida guy.
I'll live with Memesy, Coke can cock. Berta, who's helping with all the game note stuff as well. Another ad, so our team is growing. And listen, there's been a million questions online, and it was a pretty difficult year, like from a personal standpoint from us, with obviously RA's absence. RA is going to be back, guys, to some form and magnitude with this podcast. We're obviously still dealing with that. He's doing personally very well. I texted him the other day, so I know that we were pretty silent on it. We wanted to handle that stuff in-house. He means the world to us. He's the godfather of this podcast. So just know that we're going to continue to work through this. And I would really hope that next year when we hit the ground running, that RA is back to being a part of the show, because, you know, he's the lunch pail guy. He's the blue collar guy that most of you listening can relate to. And that's why we love him. We just needed for him to take a step back in order to get better, in order to not only improve himself, but ultimately, you know, what we got going on here. And we need him at his best. So we appreciate you guys for not only your support, especially the ones who weren't like aggressive about it and trying to stir things up online. And we look forward for you guys seeing the RA that you guys remember, and the one that brings you guys a lot of smiles. So
not gonna lie, Biz, last night down in the dumps, I was like, I could use RA in a plastic diamond encrusted choker on the ice right now, shit face. So I'm glad
that's
you brought
why
him
we
up.
love him.
We got to get him back. He had to get right, and it's a great team we got here.
We got
It's
a great
team, and we thank and without you guys, we always say this, the fans watching, we love you all. The Oilers, they lost again. The Panthers are the greatest team in the NHL, 2 years running, and sometimes you got to tip your cap. I love you all. Have a great day.
We love you.
Love you, boys.